climate change.
Of climate change.
Climate change is climate change.
Climate change.
Climate change.
Climate change and climate change.
Climate change.
Global warming and climate change are self-evident, as are the consequences of mass media relentless reporting of pending global climate catastrophes, which drove us insane with full fear anxiety while anticipating potential apocalypse and human extinction. Many of us still wonder about its true agenda and who financed such sensationalist reports and hyped-up opinions. Whatever the agenda and motives, over time, mass media created increasing global anxiety, which erupted into fear-driven reactions to alleged global extinction threats, as was the January 2018 news report of Doomsday Clock in its end of the world countdown, stopping at 2 minutes to Armageddon. Such news, fused with global warming hysteria, triggered the chain reaction of mass media predictions that fostered a fear-driven global solidarity to allegedly delay and stop potential apocalypse.
For the first time in the world's history, people can see the impact of climate change.
Greater storms, greater heat waves, extreme sea level rise.
It's happening in your world, it's happening in my world.
Every one of us has the power to make changes and make them now.
We are at a tipping point. We can change history right now.
It's our future and we can't just let it slip away from us.
The clock is ticking.
Extent of its compelling power was manifest in unprecedented global demonstrations, with huge masses of frightened and angry people, including school children, marching in unison to save planet Earth, their lives, and future. Mass media relentless reporting of hyped-up expert opinions reshaped our worldview, fueled our fearful anxieties, and galvanized us to global solidarity and actions. Fear fostered Extinction Rebellion rapidly gained global support of many prominent individuals, religious organizations, and politicians, all demanding immediate global response to save our planet and prevent human extinction. These urgent demands gained greater momentum on 23 January 2020 when the Doomsday Clock stopped at only 100 seconds to potential apocalypse. This ominous prediction gave Extinction Rebellion greater legitimacy. However, demanding zero global CO2 emissions by 2025 to save our planet is as impossible as stopping a huge comet destroying Earth. It seems both threats represent potentially inevitable extinction. Moreover, if human-produced CO2 isn't the main cause of global warming, whatever is will cause inevitable extinction. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientist Evaluation of International Affairs implies increasing threats of an atomic war, imminent global climate catastrophes, and rapid rise of fake news necessitated such prediction. However, since its inception in 1947, the Doomsday Clock was adjusted 22 times. Consequently, in the following decades, and especially since 2014, mass media published many ominous predictions which didn't evaluate, but raised our insecurity and fearfully anxious anticipation of what's coming next. So let's minimalize hyped-up extinction predictions. Before Industrial Revolution, the Earth climate changed generally as the sun energy varied, but now climate change is attributed to 7.8 billion of us who more or less, in many ways, pollute Earth's atmosphere. Thus, some climatologists say man-made CO2 is the main cause of global warming, while others reject this theory due to lack of credible explanations. Dr. Patrick J. Michaels, a top climatology scientist, is one of them. Interviewed by the Fox News YouTube channel on October 11, 2019, he said, "So why the great disparity between the other models and real temperatures? because they are what is called parameterized. Simple English, fudged. They don't get the right answer, don't know the right answer for certain phenomena. So we put in code steps that give us what we think it should be. The systematic error that was made was, these models were turned to simulate the warning as it was in the early 20th century, begun in 1910, ended in 1945, with about 0.45 degrees Celsius. This could not have been caused by carbon dioxide. If it did cause this CO2, we would not be talking today, we'd be sweating bullets. So, man-made carbon dioxide could not have produced the heat registered in the early 20th century. So what did? Some of the most important words are, I don't know. I don't think anyone does. Dr. Patrick J. Michael's explanations and conclusion provide scientific insight why some climatologists messed up their catastrophe predictions. First, they urged immediate, global action to slow down global warming during the next 12 years, or we may have a global climate catastrophe in 12 years' time. Then, a few years later, in 2019, they reduced their catastrophe prevention time span of 12 years to just 18 months, or we may have a global climate catastrophe in 18 months' time. It seems these incredible climatology predictions were no less than fudged pretense. So let's stop global anxiety by providing pretense predictions. Pretense predictions or not, hearing them often and long enough convinces us to believe our CO2 emissions cause global warming. Thus, 1. We feel guilty doing it, and 2. We fear imminent climate catastrophe. Fact is, truth of global warming and climate change is self-evident, but the main cause of it isn't. Thus, mass media should restrict publishing hyped-up pretense predictions, but maybe they can't, for they're the means to a predetermined end, the control of mankind through fear and guilt-driven compliance, maintaining global solidarity. So stop pretending. We want truth. Man-made CO2 is not the main cause of global warming. It's the sun and geotechnology. Moreover, it's predicted that before long, sun will get so hot it'll be scorching people with fire. But this won't cause human extinction. Predictions of apocalypse appear throughout human history. According to Wikipedia, the apocalyptic predictions of doomsday and human extinction are similar to Abrahamic religious prophecies of the last day events as described in their scriptures and defined in the biblical book of Revelation. Apocalypse is defined as the complete final destruction of the world. Aside from Revelation, Bible contains another 65 books written by more than 40 authors over a period of 1,600 years. As the book of God's love and salvation, the Bible is the most read book in the world. It starts with creation of the universe, planet Earth, and mankind, sin causing death, Christ dying to redeem us, the final judgment and apocalypse. It ends with creation of new heavens and new earth. Bible contains hundreds of fulfilled prophecies, plus those yet to happen, like the apocalypse. But why should we trust biblical prophecies? Because archaeological and historical evidences to date confirm that all biblical prophecies occurred as predicted. What about our present global warming, climate change, and turmoil? Are they predicted? Yes, they are. Will they cause the apocalypse? No. They are preceding signs. Signs signaling that apocalypse is inevitably near. This end-time prophecy is in Luke chapter 21, 25-27, accurately described our current events and global conditions as signs of the end time over 2,000 years ago. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. The self-evident similarity of this last day's prophecy and our present reality is not mere coincidence, for we presently live in the final epoch of eternity exchange, and corresponding similarity is the sign signaling the prophesied apocalypse is near. Can we do anything to stop it? No, it's inevitable. Shall we be afraid? Yes, but only if we are selfishly disobedient to God, continue sinning, and so forfeit or exchange our gift of salvation for something more desirable we crave for. This actually happened in the preceding two eternity exchange epochs, when, in accord with their free will choices, zillions vanished and billions perished. Over the last decades, and especially last few years, world's mass media reshaped our worldview, and relentless reports of imminent climate catastrophes confused and distracted us from asking ourselves, are they telling us the truth? For only truth, and nothing but the truth, provides the complete and accurate insight on the actual what and why of alleged global threats and their potential temporal and eternal consequences. Moreover, truth frees us from unnecessary fears and uncertainties. In contrast, to date, the mass media impregnated our hearts and minds with fear and guilt, galvanizing us into global solidarity while disregarding eternal consequences. It was all about saving planet Earth and our temporal existence from alleged extinction. Yet, irrespective of you believing it or not, the inevitable apocalypse is coming soon, and no radical rebellions or supreme solidarity efforts can prevent it. The final eternity exchange is ending soon. It's subject to your free will, personal choices, and actions that by God's grace determine your eternal destiny.